200 yards, I would say, away from this scene right now, and drone pilot Sean is giving us a vantage point right over the scene by zooming in. And if you take a look right now, Daniel was just talking about the initial report saying that the cables snapped and then the crane fell. Well, if you take a look here, you can see that the cables don't look very tight at all. They're almost swaying in the gusty conditions out here, so you can see what those investigators are taking a look at right now at this hour. And we saw dozens of first responders, fire, police. Obviously, the medical examiner has arrived, as Daniel was talking about. They were not only on the barge earlier, but in boats in the water as well. You can see the main part of the crane right here that actually fell. The tip of it, the tallest part of it, fell into the water. You can see it all the way on the left there. It knocked down some of the edging around that barge and ended up in the Mystic River. It looks like some investigators, looks like they may not be there at this moment, but we saw them on little dinghy boats getting right up close to that area. So this drone really providing a bird's eye view of what they're investigating. And just a reminder, it's a sad situation. 2 people died from this crane collapsing here earlier tonight. Of course, as we get some more information and details, besides maybe the cables, what else went wrong with this, we'll be sure to let you know. But for now, reporting live in Chelsea, I'm Michael Raimondi for your local station, Boston 25 News. We were able to get that drone video earlier from this spot. I want to give you a perspective of our view from this area and give you maybe a better look at the crane that collapsed here in the last few hours just across the water, probably just a few hundred yards away from where that crane went down. But that drone video is really giving us a look at what happened here. So why don't we look at that together? The mayor saying early reports from investigators show that the cables snapped on the crane, and that's why it fell onto those men below. And you can see from the drone video, the cables look loose and were even swaying in the wind out here earlier tonight. The base of the crane is on a barge, and it appears that the top fell over and then crashed right into the Mystic River. We saw first responders on some small boats getting up close to the end of that crane. They're now trying to figure out exactly why those cables snapped in the first place. We're also working to find out who owns the crane and what they were working on out here. Of course, as we get those details, we'll be sure to let you know. Of course, also trying to figure out exactly who those people were. We know they were workers. Again, Daniel was talking about it, men in their 30s and 40s. So as soon as we get some more details on those men that were involved and exactly why those cables snapped, we'll be sure to let you know. Reporting live in Chelsea tonight, I'm Michael Raimondi for your local station, Boston 25 News. And that video gives us that bird's eye view of exactly what the problem was, according to investigators, and what caused that crane to collapse earlier today, killing a worker in his 30s and another worker in his 40s. So let's watch this video together here, and it gives us that look at the cables. The investigators say that the cables snapped, and that is what caused this crane to go down and fall on the men below. So you see from the drone, the cables actually look a bit loose. They were even swaying in the wind here earlier today. The base of the crane is on the barge, and that is where it appears the top fell over and crashed into the Mystic River. We saw first responders on small boats getting up close to the end of that crane. They're just trying to figure out what exactly caused those cables to snap in the first place. So the owner of the crane, the company Charter, sending us a statement from their CEO saying, quote, "We are devastated to learn 2 individuals from a subcontractor have died following a horrific accident." They went on to say, "We are actively coordinating with all relevant public safety officials to understand why and how this happened." And of course, that is the big question tonight. What caused those cables to snap? As soon as investigators tell us, we'll be sure to let you know. Reporting live in Chelsea tonight, I'm Michael Raimondi for your local station, Boston 25 News.